Hello everyone, it's Christine from Christine's Stamping Spot. Thanks for joining me for this week's Mystery Monday video. Today we are going to make a card using this Quiet Meadow bundle. And you can find this in the large catalog. It's on page 110, so it's this one. And there are also some really nice samples here using this stamp set, and we have some coordinating dies. So this is the stamp set, which has some really nice images, simple images, but the dies are great. We've got a lot of different pieces to it with some different greeneries and some different flowers. So I really like this set for lots of different occasions. So I saw a really nice sample by Linda Dalkey, who is an Australian demo, and I just love her work. And this is similar or pretty close to the card that she did. I'm not sure if she used the exact same cardstock I did, but it's very, very similar, if not almost the same. So I just love how simple this is. Doesn't have a lot of different colors going on. And I made it into a Thinking of You card. Okay, so let's get started and I'll show you how we did this. So I started with a piece of Sahara Sand cardstock. You could also, I guess, use Chrome Cake, or if you just wanted to switch up the color palette, you can certainly do that. So we're going to set that aside for a second. And then I have another piece of Sahara Sand, cut it 5 1/4 by 4. And we are going to just do a little bit of sponging around the edges. So I've got my Sahara Sand ink, and I'm using our blending brushes. And I'm just going to go around the outside on all 4 sides, just to give the edges a little bit of a darker, sort of more vintagey feel to them. And I love how just sort of blending some color around the edges really adds to your project. I think it can give it a nice vintage look. And you could also use, other colors too, but I just love how this looked for this particular occasion of card. And with this stamp set, I thought it looked really nice. Okay, so you can add as little or as much as you like. I think that's pretty good. And then we are going to do some stamping from the stamp set. So the first stamp we're going to use is this one here. It's like almost a typewritten stamp, and it is broken up, so you can't really read all of the letters on it. So it's also very vintagey feel. And what we're going to do is, I just took a piece of white cardstock and I cut a large circle. I think this is about a 2.5 inch circle with a punch that I had. You could also just use a circle die to cut your circle out, whatever size you like. And then I'm just going to sort of center that on this piece here. And then we're going to stamp in some Native Navy ink. And so we're sort of basically just masking a little bit here, because we just want this image to look like a circle after it's stamped. So I'm just going to make sure this is not upside down. And then you're just going to go in rows and cover that circle. Okay, now it doesn't have to be perfect. So you can see it's taken on that circle image from the template there. And then we're going to add a few dots. So we have this sort of splatter stamp in the stamp set. So we're also going to take our navy and just add a few splatters wherever you want and however much you want. So I'm just going to sort of randomly add a few here, and they can overlap as well if you want them to. Okay, so I think that's pretty good for what I would like. Okay, so now I am going to attach this piece onto our base. So it's tone on tone except for the sponging, makes it look a little bit darker. So we'll just put that on top of our base in this horizontal orientation here. And I will post all these measurements on the post. Okay, so now we're going to add some of our flowers. So what I did is I took 2 of the dies from the coordinating dies. You've got a few here you can choose from. You can mix and match. You can do all flowers. You can do all greenery, whatever you like. I chose these 2 images here. Now this is cut out of Night Navy, and this actually is cut out of vellum, white vellum. But it looks a little bit darker because I did put an adhesive sheet on the back just to help me when I'm sticking it down. Now you don't need to use an adhesive sheet. You could certainly just use glue dots on the vellum or some Tombow. And this one too, I put an adhesive sheet on the back just because these leaves here, these stems are very delicate and fragile. But you could also just use some Tombow on the back if you didn't want to use the adhesive sheets for that. So I'm going to put this navy one on first and try to peel this off. And you take your pick tool, is always a handy tool too to help get this off. Okay, so then decide where you'd like to place it. I'm going to put it over the circle here, and now just be aware the stem is a little bit longer than the matted piece, so we're just going to trim that off once we get that placed. So like so, and then I'm just going to trim off this excess at the bottom. Okay, and then just give that a little press to stick that down. And then we're going to lay down this vellum one. See if we can get this off here. This is a really delicate stem, so hopefully it won't tear, because vellum is also very delicate. You could just use white cardstock too if you wanted, but I'm going to do the vellum. And I'm just going to overlap these stems at the bottom, and then just sort of put it down at a bit of an angle. Now my fingers are going to get stuck, and I just ripped a piece off, but that's okay. We will put that back on once I get these pressed down. So there you go, the vellum is very fragile, so I'm just going to press it down as best you can here, and then this ripped piece I'm just going to, oh my gosh, I just ripped it again. Not a good day for vellum. Okay, but we will just put this together like a bit of a puzzle, and maybe nobody will notice. Okay, so we're just going to press those down. Now it's very, like it almost blends right in. Now on my sample, I didn't use the adhesive sheets. I just used some glue dots. So it does look a little bit different. This one blends in a little bit more with the adhesive sheets, and this one tends to sort of show a little bit more of the white in the vellum. So it's total personal preference. Okay, so I am also going to add our little butterfly here at the top. So that was cut out with the Brilliant Wings dies, which are part of a bundle with the big butterfly set. And so I cut out this little butterfly here, and I will put on with a glue dot. Just put that in the center of him. And we will stick that up here, sort of at the end of the splatter a little bit. And then I'm also going to add some linen thread, just because I think it will add. So I did a double piece. So I cut two strips of linen thread and then did them in a bow. I just thought it looked a little more substantial than just a single piece of linen thread. I just really like the look of the double. So we're going to add that with the glue dot as well to the base of our down. Oops, I'm not sure if that came off. Okay, so make sure that's on the back of the knot, and then we'll just sort of put it here where they've intersected. All right, and then I'm going to add a little bit of bling on here too. So I do have some old rhinestone jewels here from an old pack, so I think we will put one in the middle of this sort of ripped flower that we had. And then there's another flower there, so I'll add that. And then we'll add another one to this third flower and one in our butterfly, like so. So that gives it a little bit of a bling. And then lastly, we are going to add our greeting. Now, what was interesting about this is that this was stamped on our new linen specialty paper. Now, this is also in the large catalog, and it looks like this. I'm not sure if you can really see the linen sort of stripes in this paper, but it feels very soft, just like linen would. And you get two 12 by 12 sheets in a pack, and there's also an adhesive backing on the back, which makes it really handy if you're putting on, you know, greeting labels or whatever. And if you didn't want to take off the backing to expose the adhesive there, you could probably just add dimensionals too, and that would be fine. So mine, I used the Thinking of You stamp from the stamp set and cut it out with this die, which comes in the this particular set of dies. And so I'm just going to peel this backing off the linen paper, and I really like the look of how this looked on here. So then we're just going to sort of lay this down. Before you press it down, make sure it's fairly straight, as straight as you can get it. And then we're just gonna place that down and give it a little rub to adhere it. And that's how easy this linen paper is. It actually feels like fabric once you take that backing off, but you could leave the backing on and just pop that up with dimensionals if you wanted as well. So there is our Thinking of You Quiet Meadow card. I really love that color palette. It's very simple and subtle, and makes a great little card to send to someone that you definitely are thinking of at this time. So I hope you liked that project today. I do have still for a few more days an August host code on my website, christineludwig.stampinup.net. August host code 9RZH9HMA. You're welcome to use that at the checkout screen. And don't forget, celebration runs for one more month till the end of September. So any $60 purchase, you can choose a celebration item for free. So if you have any questions, feel free to contact me at chris.ludwig@hotmail.com, and you can also follow me on Facebook and Pinterest at Christine Stamping Spot. So I hope you have a wonderful day and a wonderful week, and we will see you next time. Bye for now.